Hello everyone, myself Monica, Head and Assistant Professor from the Department of Nutrition and Dietetics, St. Joseph College of Arts and Science for Women, Husserl. Today we are going to see about leavening agent used in the baking. First, let us see what is leavening agent. A leaven, often called as leavening agent and also known as a rising agent, is any one of a number of substances used in doughs and batters that cause a foaming action or gas bubbles that lightens and softens the product. It starts with the creation of millions of tiny air bubbles from various mixing methods trapped in the structural workframe of the cake's batter by the gluten strands. Air incorporation comes from beating eggs, creaming butter, and sugar together, from folding ingredients together, and from any agitation. Cakes are then leavened when the air bubble in their batters expand when heated from water vapor or steam from liquids. The type of leavener to be used is based upon the kind of cake required for according to volume, taste, flavor, color, structure, and consistency. There are three types of leavening agent used in baking. First one is physical leavening agent, second one is chemical leavening agent, and the third one is biological leavening agent. Physical leavening agent. Creaming is the process of beating sugar crystals and solid fat together in a mixer. This integrates tiny air bubbles into the mixture since the sugar crystals physically cut through the structure of the fat. Creamed mixtures are usually further leavened by a chemical leaven like baking soda. This is often used in cookies. Using a whisk or certain liquids, notably cream or egg whites, can also create foams through mechanical action. This is the method employed in the making of sponge cakes, where an egg protein matrix produced by vigorous whipping provides almost all the structure of the finished product. Next one is chemical leavening agent. A chemical leavening agent produces a source of gas to the recipe called carbon dioxide. When moistened, baking soda and double acting baking soda and heated double acting baking soda is expands the millions of air bubbles previously created in a batter or dough from mixing or any agitation made to the cake's ingredients, trapped in the structural framework by the gluten strands. If the batter is overmixed, becomes too warm, or not baked promptly, the gas will escape and the final recipe will have poor texture and low volume. Chemical leavening agent are of two types. One is baking powder and another one is baking soda. Baking powder. It is made from cream of tartar and sodium bicarbonate and starch. It is a leavening agent which causes the batter to rise. It is available in two forms. Single acting baking powder, which acts as instantly and the cake has to be baked immediately as soon as it is mixed. Double acting powders. In this, some of the gas is released when it is mixed to the batter at room temperature, and the final gas is released in the oven when it faces high temperature. Too much baking powder results in bitter tasting product, while too little results in tough cake with little volume. Baking soda. Baking soda is pure sodium bicarbonate and needs to be paired with an acidic ingredient like honey, chocolate, or yogurt so that carbon dioxide is released due to reaction. This carbon dioxide expands in volume in the oven, causing the product to rise. It is used in the production of rich red color specialty cakes, but use of too much will result in a soapy, coarse cake. Since it reacts immediately, it is recommended for recipes which call for soda immediately, or else the product will fall flat. And the last type is biological leavening agent. Yeast is the example of biological leavening agent. Yeast is the most important ingredient for yeast products. It is a living microorganism which cannot be seen by naked eyes and is a form of plant life. Yeast was discovered by Louis Pasteur in 1859. In olden days, most of the bakers used bran method of making bread. A liquid media was made with hop decoction, boiled potatoes, sugar, flour, etc., in which wild yeast was cultured. It was necessary to produce prolonged fermentation. Due to prolonged fermentation period, breads had that peculiar fermentation flavor which is still remembered by people nostalgically. However, times have changed. Bakers yeast is easily available and bakers botheration about uncertainties of fermentation have been eliminated. Yeast belongs to the fungi family. It is a very small single cell microorganism. There are two types of fresh yeast, fresh yeast and dry yeast. Fresh yeast. Fresh yeast is also known as compressed yeast. It is a moist mixture of yeast, plants and starch. It should be kept in refrigerator and should be maintained at 40 to 450 degree Fahrenheit. It has a pleasant aroma like ripe apples and is inactive at cold temperature. Yellowish cream in color, and when broken, it shows clean fracture without crumbling. It produces gas rapidly when added to dough. Bakers prefer fresh yeast because it is cheaper and reliable. It can be stored for 2 to 4 weeks as it contains high moisture content. Fresh yeast is divided into two: cream yeast and compressed yeast. Cream yeast. Cream yeast is not available in Indian markets. This yeast is available in the suspension form and is transported by motor and tube. It can be stored only for 7 to 10 days as it contains very high moisture content. Next one is compressed yeast. It is essentially cream yeast with most of the liquid removed. It is soft solid, beige in color, crumbly in appearance, and arguably best known in the consumer form as small foil wrapped cubes of cake yeast. Dry yeast. It contains very less moisture and has a good shelf life. It is grayish brown in color, land granular in form with a distinctive smell. Active dry yeast. It is mixture of yeast with corn flour or cornmeal pressed into cakes and dried. It is available in granular or and many multiply it with some growth medium under most conditions. Active yeast must first be proofed or dehydrated in suitable for the sponge and dough methods. It can be stored for a long period, 4 to 6 months, due to less moisture content. Instant dry yeast. It is the form of yeast most commonly available to non commercial bakers. It consists of coarse oblong granules powder form. It continues to live but in an inactive stage. When it gets warmth and moisture, it begins to develop of yeast, with live yeast cells encapsulated in a thick jacket of dry dead cells. It can be stored at room temperature for a year or frozen for more than a decade, which means that it has better keeping quality than other forms, but it is generally considered more sensitive than other forms to thermal shock when actually used in the recipes. Rapid rice yeast. It is a variety of dry yeast that is smaller granular size, thus it dissolves faster in the dough, and it provides greater carbon dioxide output to allow faster rising. This yeast is not generally used in bakery, as most baking experts believe it reduces the flavor potential of the finished product. Deactivated yeast. It is dead yeast which has no leavening volume, and it is not interchangeable with other yeast types. Typically used for pizzas, pan bread, doughs, it is used at the rate of 0.1% of the flour weight, though manufacturer specifications may vary. It is powerful reducing agent used to increase the extensibility of the dough. Thank you.